very much, Mark, for your kind welcome, and I don't think I didn't know that much about myself when I think about it. No. Thank you all for welcoming Mitzi and I here. I really like going to Rotary meetings to speak about support dogs because Rotarians are all about the community and doing the right thing in the community and making sure everyone gets what they need and their needs met. And I'm just so proud of all these high school students as well. Keep up the good work, keep going, and thank you for your service to the country. That is wonderful. Support Dogs was founded about 32 years ago by a woman actually from Columbus, Ohio. Her name was Sandy Mays, and she had a German Shepherd named Stormy. The long and short of it is that Sandy had adult onset muscular dystrophy. She was a nurse, so she started getting problems and more difficulties in doing simple things like picking up things or dropping something, and she would fall over and it would be difficult to get up. Getting the laundry out of the dryer, getting her slacks off, it just became more difficult. So she thought, I think I'll get a dog trainer and maybe Stormy can help me. So the dog trainer came and trained Stormy to do all the things. And she was so excited about it that her mother and her decided to take their show on the road. And they started driving west and ended up as one of the towns they visited was St. Louis. And you know how you see in the local newspaper or the big paper or a local magazine, there's a free lecture on service dogs and how they can help people with disabilities. Well, some of you might see that and go, oh, I think I like dogs. I think I'd go and see that. Well, the people that went to see it formed a group, a chapter here, and started Support Dogs Incorporated, and it was called Support Dogs for the Handicapped. Well, fast forward 33 years later, we're still here. Sandy has since gone on, as well as Stormy. Columbus, Ohio had the original chapter, and that was merged with another like organization. So Support Dogs Incorporated is a 501c3. We've been that way for probably 30 of the 33 years. We started, our flagship program is the assistance dog program with service dogs. Now when I say assistance dogs, think of that umbrella, and under that umbrella is Guide Dogs for the Blind. We know what they do. We also, Mitzi, leave it. It's a food room, so she's fascinated. Our nose cannot smell anything on this rug, but she can. So anything that was ever dropped in here before, she knows. Assistance dogs covers Guide Dogs for the Blind, service dogs. They perform 3 mitigating services for people with physical disabilities. Picking up something, holding something, retrieving something. Then we have military assistance dogs. Those are post-traumatic stress disorder for men and women who've served in the military. And they're called psychiatric service dogs. And they provide a second set of eyes, a source of comfort, and they make that comfort zone a little bigger than what a normal person would have. And it's the buddy system. Just like in the military, they're trained to be with a buddy, so the dog becomes their buddy. The other one that we do is animal-assisted therapy, which would be a courtroom dog, and that dog would be used by a social worker who would use the dog to support a child while gathering forensic information about the child's abuse, whether it was sexual abuse, physical abuse, because sometimes the children most of the time, have a very difficult time explaining what had happened because they were told if you tell, and you can fill in the rest of the story. But the social workers are using the dogs to gather that forensic information, whereas before they would have maybe a 5 or 10 minute opportunity, and then the child would start shutting down. Well, with the dog in the room, the dog is friendly. They use all of the skills that the dog has, like retrieving, holding things, playing with the child. They love to lay there and play rug. And the child starts talking to the dog, and now they're getting 50 to 60 minute testimonials from the child. The courts in the state of Missouri, we have 3 in Southwest, Southeast, and Kansas City area. I believe that there's going to be a courtroom dog here in Illinois. The executive director, Bill Dalkamp, just spoke to the legislature, the attorney association, and they're looking to put them more and more. The court system in Missouri has declared that the dogs are officers of the court, so that the defense attorney cannot argue that the dog really isn't, supposed to be in the court. That way, if the child were to have to testify on the witness stand, the dog could be there and be a source of comfort. So it's a really wonderful thing. The other thing that we train the dogs to do are hearing dogs. For people who are deaf, are hard of hearing. And they would respond to a noise, a baby crying, the microwave, the alarm. One of our clients last summer, her husband is in the Army and he's deployed a lot, and she is deaf. So they wanted to start a family. However, her concern was that, she would never be able to hear the baby crying, and so she was reluctant, and her husband deployed a lot, and she was on, not in a family situation because where they were stationed. So she applied to get a hearing dog. Well, it's become a fantastic relationship. Last summer, she was not by her phone, nor was she by the television. And her dog kept coming to her and bumping her on the leg. And she would go out and she would look around and she'd say, "What?" And the dog would take her to the door. Well, she was looking out the door and it looked stormy, but she didn't think anything of it. Finally, the dog became so agitated with her that she picked up her phone to send a message to somebody like, "What's going on? The dog's lost its mind." Everybody had been texting her, "Take cover, there's a tornado in your area." And she immediately went downstairs, and the tornado was very nearby where she was. Well, she couldn't hear the tornado siren, and she couldn't hear, how the TV blasts that noise. So the dog really helped her. We were thrilled to hear that story. The last one that we do, so that's the hearing dog. So the animal-assisted therapy dog, I wanted to say one other thing. Besides children, they also have been placed with social workers in Alzheimer's units, and they're used as an incentive to get the people to take their medication, to participate, to keep their brains active, to also eat. We're very thrilled with those placements. We think they're wonderful. We train the dogs starting at 8 weeks of age, and they learn everything you can think of in obedience. And we only have 3 trainers. And as Mark said, we have the opportunity at 2 prisons, Greenville Federal Penitentiary, the women's minimum security, and then Southwest Illinois Correctional Center for the men to train. But we also have volunteer puppy raisers who come and get an 8-week-old puppy, take it home, and start socializing it, start taking it out into public, coming to Rotary lunches, going to Chamber of Commerce, going to the movie. When I was training Mitzi to become an assistance dog, we took her to the baseball game, we took her to the Rams game, everything, because a person with a disability, they want to go out, they want to go. This dog is going to provide them a sense of freedom. And that's our tagline, by the way. It's called Opening Doors to Independence. So many of our people become a lot more independent. The people that we serve, we have about 85 clients right now who are active. They are across the country and one in Canada. We're in 17 states. It costs $21,727 exactly to raise an assistance dog, to raise one dog. And it starts at 8 weeks of age. We spay and neuter all of the dogs by the time they're 6 months old. We then have the volunteer puppy raiser. They can make a 6-month commitment, or they can keep the dog until about 14 months of age, at which time it's brought back to our training center and it's given those final polishing things. The trainers are fantastic, takes 4 to 6 months, and dogs are just like people. In that some of us excelled really fast through college, some of us excelled quickly through grade school or high school, some of us average students, other ones we like to play a little bit and have more fun, right? So those dogs are just kind of allowed to mature at their own rate. We don't force them by any means. We use bait. Mostly it's just their kibble. Mitzi? Come here. Mitzi? Sit. Good girl. Easy, easy. Good, nice job. Person with a physical disability has, sit. She says, well, give me another cookie. And I'll sit. How about down? Down. All the way. Down. That's a good girl. Wait. Mitzi, wait. Get your leash. Bring it. Get your leash. Bring it. Come on. Pick it up. Get it. Get it. Good girl. Nice. Nope. Give it to me. Get your leash. Thank you. Nicely done. I don't know if you could see that in the back, but she picked it up. Good girl. Okay, wait. Nice. We'll do it again this way. Wait. So, sit. Okay, W.C. Fields, here we go. You know, don't ever perform with kids or dogs, because you never know. Okay, now we're gonna wait. 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 Get your leash. Come. Oh, no, get your leash. Good job. You did it that time. Good girl. Nicely done. She goes, I want a cookie. So, Mitzi's kind of spoiled, you might say. She grew up around me, and I spoiled her. A assistance dog would not be given treats every time they did something. They would be given lots of praise, and what a good dog they were. The problem with giving dogs, as you probably know with your own dog, if you have one, is that they tend to put on weight just like the rest of us, okay? And clients, because that typically is their world, food is love, love is food. So they've been coached quite a bit to, how about some green beans or carrots, or how about, instead of always a dog biscuit, save that for a really, really special time. And praise your dog a lot. The reason why I was making her wait so long is I wanted her to remember, remember your training, Mitzi. If you were placed with a person with a physical disability, they may have a difficult time getting the keys or the leash out of your mouth because their hands don't work as fast, their arms don't work. If I were disabled and I dropped my keys, I would want her to hold the keys as long as possible. We haven't done this one in a long time, I'll admit, so let's see if she'll do it. Wait. Nope. Wait. Get the keys. Get the keys. Go on. Good girl. Hold it. Oh. Come on. Get the keys. Get them. Get them. Nope. Get the keys. Get the keys. You can do it. Come on. Get the keys. Oh, no, I have to get my leash. Get the keys, Mitzi. Get the keys. Get my leash. Get the keys. Get them. Get them. Last time. Good job. I bopped them out of your hand, out of your mouth. I call her hands. I treat her just like my granddaughter almost. So anyway, we do a lot of patient work with the dogs, and they have to be, instead of get the keys, get the keys, get the keys, for a person with a disability, it's get the keys. It's sit, it's hold, it's wait. They can open doors, they can rise to counters to do transactions for them with the credit card or with their money. They do all kinds of things. They can pull off trousers, and they can even help a person with MS, perhaps is having now trouble rolling over in bed. Dog will hop on bed and grab the the opposite corner for the person, and roll the sheet backwards on the command of back. And the person will roll over, and they'll be able to get up. The dogs are the Labrador kind, and they're the bench labs, which are used in shows. So they're shorter and they're stronger, they're wider in their barrel, because sometimes our clients need to use them to brace, to move from their bed to their chair, back and forth. The other thing is that for a Labrador of the bench quality or the show dog, English lab if you want to call them, they're a lot more approachable. Their demeanor is bred for the show ring, where she's just here. She's just in this room. You probably, unless you saw me come in with her or saw her over there waiting for me to get some lunch, she's just very quiet. The field Labradors are not quite as calm. They need to be on top of it when they're going hunting. They're on all the time, so they have a lot more energy. They're taller, their snouts are longer, and they're good dogs too. And every now and then, Mitzi, leave it, come here, come around, heel, sit, good, down, all the way, good girl, stay. So the field trial dog would have a lot of energy for someone in a wheelchair that needs to be pulled. So that would be great. So some people say to me, well, why do you only use Labradors or Golden Retrievers? Well, we started out with German Shepherds, as you might recall. And anybody here have a German Shepherd? They're one-person dog. Would you agree with that?
Yes,
And so if I were training a German Shepherd and a puppy raiser and I'm training a German Shepherd, and then I turn it into a trainer to get trained again, and then the trainer turns around and gives it to a client, by the time it gets to the client, the German Shepherd is just like, you know what? I am bred for one person because I am a herding dog, and I work with a herd and a shepherd. And that's what they're trained for. The other thing too, in the public eye, they're appeared upon like guard dogs, canine units, and so forth. Fabulous dog, they can do the job also. Some people have said, well, what about a Rottweiler? It's a working dog. It could be trained to do the job, but it's a cattle dog, so it's going to be nipping at heels all the time. One of Mitzi's really, really good friends, the dog, is a Border Collie. And Lily has all of her toys in a corner, because she's herded them all in the corner, right, as a Border Collie. Mitzi, as a retriever, takes all the toys out of the corner, and they're all over the room. Lily then herds them all back in. So for someone with a disability who has herding dog, that's not going to work either. Someone said, well, what about a Malamute? They're strong. How about a Husky? Well, they're running dogs. And running dog and a person in a wheelchair probably isn't going to work. That would be very dangerous, as a matter of fact. The other thing is that Labradors, they're easily approachable. Who would like to take Mitzi home? She'd go with me. She wouldn't even miss me because you would have FOOD, right? You would have the food and she would go with you. So they're food driven. Again, I go back to that food driven. We start out with treats as puppies. We use bait until they learn to do what they're supposed to do. So if it's holding, that would be maybe a hook that's on a door. They would hold it, and at first they would be given a treat. Then it's less treats. Then it's more praise. So at the Support Dogs office, if you ever come over there to visit, and everyone's welcome to come anytime, you'll hear a lot of, in the background, good job, whoa, nice job, way to go. And I'm like in my office going, well, thank you, because it's kind of really a steam building. Well, that's what the trainers are telling the dogs, because the dogs love praise, especially Labradors. That's about all that I can tell you. There's a lot more about Support Dogs. Feel free to visit our website anytime, like us on Facebook.